Gary, what are you doing, man?
Hey, come
What's
on
going
in, have a
on?
seat.
What's happening
Oh, look,
over
man,
here?
I'm fishing.
You're fishing?
Yeah,
What?
fishing.
You don't even have water in your bowl, man. What?
No. You know, fishing, you just relax. You get out, maybe get you a drink, your fish cup, and that's fishing. That's all you need to do.
Gary, no, you definitely need water to fish, and
Water?
normally not a small little pool like this. You want like a lake, maybe even a river. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work with a portable. This is literally like a bowl. This looks like it's for a dog.
Well, don't you just want to kind of like sit and relax? I mean, you know what fishing's about?
No, that's not what fishing is about. It's about actually catching fish. You're supposed to
fish.
kind of reel them in, and then you have a fish. You don't just sit out and do it like that.
So fishing actually includes fish.
Yeah, yes, that is the key word is fish in fishing. If you didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah, there's actually a good story in the Bible that talks about fishing.
Really?
And they don't even use a pole like this. They use a net to catch a lot of fish all at once.
Wow.
But hey, and you know what? I probably can't even do the story justice. So we'll watch a clip here, a video about the
Yeah, I'd
fishing.
like to see it.
All
Let's
right.
do that.
On another day, Jesus was walking along the shore of the Sea of Galilee, and lots of people crowded around him to hear what he had to say.
Hello. Well, okay.
Jesus noticed 2 empty boats, for Andrew and Peter had left them and were washing their nets. Jesus stepped into one of the boats
Hey, Peter.
and asked Peter to take him out into the sea.
Aye.
So he sat in the boat and taught the crowds from there. When he had finished speaking, he said to Peter, "Now go out where it is deeper and let down your nets to catch some fish." But Peter said, "We worked hard all last night and didn't catch a thing. But if you say so, I'll let the nets down again." And this time their nets were so full of fish, they began to tear.
Whoa!
They called to some other fishermen for help,
Hey, help!
and soon both boats were filled with fish. When Peter realized what happened, he fell to his knees before Jesus and said, "Oh Lord, please leave me. I'm such a sinful man." Jesus replied to Peter, "Don't be afraid. Come, follow me, and I will show you how to fish for people."
Really? Really?
And as soon as they landed, they left their nets and followed Jesus. So Simon Peter became one of Jesus' 12 disciples and followed his friend Jesus throughout his time on earth.
Wow, that was really, that was both. We had a fishing story like I was doing. Those guys fished all night, didn't catch anything.
Yeah.
And then we have a catching story. I
right.
kind of get it now, what fishing, that's really, I really like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. Didn't y'all like that too? That was a really good video we just watched, wasn't it? What? Yeah,
What are we talking here?
we got a whole audience of people with us. All these awesome children are with us. They wanted to come see you fish, and so now we got to see the story. Yeah, we got everything in. But yeah, it's an amazing story about how we aren't just fishing like this, but in those days they fished with the nets.
Yeah.
They actually threw big nets, and even now, even if you watch any of the big shows with all the fishing out in the sea, they still have really big nets. They don't throw them out like these guys throw them out, but
so when he says fishing, he's not talking about a pole and a hook and that kind. He's talking about a net.
No, yeah, he's talking about a full net that you would throw out, and you would it would stay in the water, and then the fish would come in a lot different way than we're used to here, right? We have the bobber that you normally use, and you got all these kind of things, but here they were more about catching mass at once, because they were actually using it to eat the fish. So it was more than just catch a fish and release like we normally do now.
So those guys were fishermen, and they fished all night and didn't catch any. So then Jesus comes along. Was he a fisherman too, or what? How did that work?
Well, I mean, Jesus was able to do a lot of things, right? He knew basically everything we could know as a human being, and he was able to be skilled in a lot of different ways, right? His dad was a carpenter, and he hung out with fishermen, and he knew tax collectors. He had all these things, and so while he maybe didn't do every occupation, he knew a little bit about everything that people were doing, and was able to help them. And more so with this story, obviously, where he's using their nets in the way that they catch fish. He's performing a miracle to help them understand what he wants them to understand afterwards, as we saw in the video.
Oh, so he was able to do a lot more because he was able to do miracles.
That's right.
And so he was able to catch, even though they did all that. So that kind of means that Jesus knows whatever we need.
That's right.
Is that what you'd say?
That's right, yeah, because as we said, right, when these guys would throw out their nets, they weren't just catching fish to have fun and throw it back out and as a sport. It was their occupation. They had to catch fish to live. And so Jesus knew that they needed those fish, and they hadn't caught any fish yet. And so when they were trying to throw out the nets, and obviously, as we see in the video, they don't really believe Jesus at first, right? They aren't sure, as we see in Scripture.
Yes,
they're like, does he know or not?
Yeah.
And they almost, laugh a little bit. And so we see that yes, obviously, Jesus was saying, I will provide for you. Just like he says to us, he will provide for us the things that we need, whether it's back in those days where we don't really necessarily relate to catching fish, or it's now, whenever we have different things in our lives.
Yeah.
Jesus knows what we need sometimes when we don't even know what we need.
Yeah, or we've worked real hard to try to get it, and then he comes along and says, here, let me help you with that. Boy, that's something good to remember. Yeah. Probably our guests, too, that I don't know where they are.
Yeah. That's right.
But I do have a question, okay? It was a really cool thing, and everybody was real excited, and then Peter gets real kind of sad. You know, and he says, kind of get away from me, Lord. I don't deserve this. What do you think's going on there? Why did he get so sad?
Well, Peter was feeling like, I don't deserve the love that you're giving to me here, right? The reality of Jesus providing in need. He didn't feel that in that moment the thing that Jesus did for him and understanding who Jesus was, right? When we're talking about, he was able to do miracles. Jesus was God. And so understanding the fullness of who Jesus was, Peter didn't really feel like he deserved to be in Jesus' presence. And so I think sometimes in our own lives, we kind of feel that way, right? We feel like, do I deserve Jesus' love? Do I deserve God's love? And sometimes we even say, do we deserve the love of those around us? But we understand, just as Jesus showed in the story, he comes to us where we're at. He comes to us when we're trying to fish with nets and we're not catching anything, and he says, I'm going to meet your need. Or he comes to us whenever we're at school trying to meet people and we aren't meeting people, or we're in a sport or whatever it might be, and we have to remember that the need that Jesus is meeting is not about the material thing that we may want, but it's about us, right? It's about us as people, and the fact that Jesus does love us as people.
And so Jesus really didn't say this, but he's kind of saying, Peter, I forgive you, and you're one of my disciples, and I'm going to help you and keep helping you, even when you have kind of, like you said, he didn't really trust Jesus to know about fishing because Jesus was a carpenter, and all of a sudden we see that Jesus knows everything. And so sometimes we do that, don't we? We say, I'm not gonna ask Jesus for help because he might not know what's best or that kind of thing, but he always knows. And then we feel bad because we act that way, but he says, no, I forgive you. That's good. That's good. Right. Wow. But this is something I don't know. You need to help me here. I'll fish. He says, Peter, I'm going to make you fishers of people, of men. So I don't want to go out fishing. I especially don't want to get them hooked. What do you think? Right. What is going on there?
Yeah, well, I think it's obviously kind of confusing, right? We have a fishing pole. Are we going to put a bait in somebody's mouth and all this kind of thing? No, we're not going to do that, right?
No.
We do use nets, but in a different way. We aren't using a physical net that you're going to go throw over somebody. Right. Don't do that, kids. Okay,
no nets.
Don't go throw a net over your
or
friends.
Fishing poles
or fishing poles. Do not try that at home.
That's right.
But we do use a net that we call the gospel, right? We call it the good news of Jesus. We call his love and just as we were talking about, right? The thing that Peter felt, I don't deserve this, Jesus. I don't deserve for you to forgive me. I don't deserve to be your disciple or to follow you. That's the good news. That's the net that we're throwing out as Jesus threw out.
People can throw, they can throw it. So then when we throw out the things that Jesus is talking about, the goodness or the good news, all of a sudden people are caught up in it. Mm-hmm. Like maybe kindness.
Yeah.
If I throw the net of kindness, then I'm getting it.
Yeah, we have. If I'm sure you kids remember the fruits of the Spirit, right?
Yeah.
We have. You throw out the love to somebody, or you throw out joy to somebody. You can throw out peace and patience and kindness. We have all of these. We have all of these different things that we throw out that are all that all are together within what Jesus is giving to us, right? And so we take what Jesus showed us, and we take what the Spirit gives us, and we throw that to people in a way, right? We throw that as a net in a way, and what that does, just like a net does with fish, that you if you do it the right way, at least, not like this, you're gonna draw people in, right? You're gonna draw people in with this net. It's something that people will understand that they need and that they want in their lives. And so that's what's so important about this. It's so important about, yes, Jesus was there when they were fishing, but more so Jesus saying, I want to make you fisher of men. I want to make you fisher of people all in this life and bring them into what I've shown you in this way.
Yeah, and it's still kind of like a miracle, isn't it? I mean, Jesus says, you just throw the net, and I'll make sure you get the fish to catch it. Hey, I'm learning a whole new thing about fishing here. I think I'm going to have to start catching fish to enjoy it more.
That's right.
But more important than that, we really want to throw the nets like Jesus said.
That's right.
Yeah. Good.
That's right. And a fun thing to do if you've ever gone fishing, hey, throw in the comments, throw in the chat right now. What kind of fish have you ever caught? Yeah. And also let's think about in a different way. What is the net that you've thrown in your life, or what is a net you can throw right now, right?
That Jesus wants you to throw.
That's right. Yeah. What is the net of the gospel that we can give out to people? And I know it's weird, right? We have the quarantine, and some of you are in school, and some of you are online.
Yeah.
But let's try to think about what are some ways that we can throw out kindness, that we can throw out joy, that we can throw out peace and goodness and love to people. In the way that Jesus did in this story. The net of those things that then we bring people into the goodness that Jesus has for us, the love that he gives to us in our lives.
Good. Thanks for helping me with fishing.
That's right.
You guys keep fishing.
Yeah, we'll see y'all later. Thanks for joining us.